Welcome to Multifamily Live.
I'm Keely Yarusi.
And I'm Jason Yarusi. Our mission is to help you unlock your full potential as a multifamily real estate investor.
So you can do more deals, bigger deals, with less stress, keep more profit, and free up your time.
Multifamily doesn't have to be a mystery. It's time to go live.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to the show. I am so excited to introduce you to this next guest. She has become my sister over the past couple of months, and I met her on Clubhouse. I want to introduce you all to Kelani Blackwell. Welcome, Kelani.
Ooh, thank you for having me. Hi, Bailey.
Super excited.
I feel like sister might be an understatement at this point, considering how much we talk.
Exactly. I feel like I don't even know. Like we were meant to just like combine forces and combine brains, because seriously, like we were talking so much over the last few months. But before we get into that, Kelani Blackwell serves as an associate of capital markets for CBRE. Kelani provides investment sales services to multifamily clients ranging from small private investors to large public entities. Kelani is a results-driven professional who understands the importance of people, processes, and technology within a successful company. She enjoys being creative to find out-of-the-box solutions, takes pride in being efficient, and is a natural leader, no joke. In her spare time, Kelani enjoys traveling, live music, and is the proud puppy parent to a Great Dane. She is a true lover of the arts and appreciates creativity and expression. Again, welcome, Kelani. Now back to our sisterhood.
Back to our sisterhood. Oh man, I feel like that was so official. Oh
no, but seriously, so I know you. I want to let everyone in podcast land, all my listeners, I want them to know you as well. So how did you get started in real estate and what keeps you here?
Man, great question. So my first job ever, like real job, I had little odd jobs as a young teenager. But when I was 15, I was an assistant to my mother, who was a real estate agent and loan originator out of San Diego, and a team of about 5 real estate agents. So this was back when files were paper and you had to actually hole punch them and stack them.
I don't understand what.
Right. What is that? Who does that anymore? So I remember just being so eager to go on all the tours with her, and I couldn't do it until all of my filing was done. And so that was my introduction to real estate in a sense. My mom was a residential agent and loan originator back in the day, which wasn't even that, I say back in the day, oh gosh, I'm aging myself at this point, but I was, half my life ago about ish, right? That's what I was doing. Anyway, the market crashed. My mom stopped doing real estate. We lost our house. We short sailed it, had to short sale our house in 2008. My college fund went down the drain. Everything that we had saved and built, it went off in the distance. And so, life goes on. You keep building, you come back from there. And it was really fortuitous because as I got older, I went to school, I traveled, I did a few other things. I worked in a corporate space. I actually did music. I was trying to find, where I wanted to be because I'm a creative. And I ended up coming back to real estate. And I was working a corporate job, and I'm like, this is for the birds. I hate it here. I don't want to do this. Not my calling whatsoever. And so I decided I needed to get my real estate license. That was the place I knew to start, right? I didn't know everything that I know now about the industry, but I felt like that's where I needed to start. So I did. And I found a very small company via Instagram that was flipping houses, and they needed structure to scale. And I'm like, hey, I'm corporate, so let's do this thing. Long story short, I was the first non-family member hired onto this small flipping team that had some access to capital. And from the time that I got there to just over 3 years later, when I had left, we had scaled that company. We had turned into a full service brokerage. I had over 30 agents that I recruited, hired, trained, retained, fired sometimes. You really have to go that far. But then it was an extensive fix and flip operation. Our firm managed a large line of credit for residential investment opportunities for flips. And then that turned into, consulting services for people that were trying to build their own portfolio. So personally, myself and my team have facilitated thousands of transactions, hundreds of flips. I got thrown into that fire and learned a lot. And so I got to a point where it's time to graduate to that next level. The company, I love that. I'm so thankful for my experience there. It was time to grow, and what better place than to get into the commercial space, into multifamily, which is just a more robust, larger, bigger version kind of what I was doing before. When CBRE comes calling, you go. And that's what I did. And so I hopped over to CBRE. I moved back home. I was in Vegas, like I said before, moved back to Columbus, Ohio, where I'm from originally. My mom's from Hawaii, though, so that's where I think we connect so much. But I lived there when I was a kid. But anyway, moved back to Columbus. I was at CBRE for 3 weeks before the pandemic shut everything down. So I'm like, all right, how
So I'm gonna
I'm
interject right there, because you have dropped so much about how you have grown, how you've come to this point, and now you're sort of at the point just before we met. So you are in CBRE for 3 weeks. You jumped into this large multifamily. It's a huge brokerage. CBRE is huge. You've been there for 3 weeks. COVID hits. So talk a little bit about why you made that jump into multifamily, into commercial real estate, and then we're going to go jump into how we met.
Yeah. So the rationale behind my decision to go the commercial route was because I was burnt out, truthfully speaking. When I was working in Vegas, we were doing, oh my God, volume was crazy. I was burnt out, and it wasn't my company. I couldn't justify working like that forever for a company that wasn't mine.
You were making other people money.
I was making other people money. Grateful for the experience, but there's something that happens when you realize your own potential and your own gifts. And I said, okay, here I am making this company a lot of money, making these investors a lot of money, helping these agents make money for themselves. And I'm like, this is cool to get a piece of this action, but it's not enough. I can do the work that I'm telling everyone and teaching everyone to do. The natural progression, though, is I would say commercial, but you know me, Pelia. It's like go big or go home. If you're gonna do it, fucking do it.
Yes,
do it.
So you're doing it. You jump into CBRE. The world shuts down, and Clubhouse comes. So talk to me about Clubhouse, because your story is an exciting one, and one that was unexpected.
It was so unexpected. I can't even tell you. So my life has changed astronomically, exponentially, whatever big word you want to put on it, right? It's changed so much. So here I am. I'm like, all right, how do I create a book of business from behind a computer screen? I can't meet anyone. We're not in the office. You're not getting the same experience, right? And everyone knows in commercial, it takes forever to build up a book of business, right? That's just how it goes in the commercial space. And I'm also a minority woman in a white male dominated industry. So my coworkers often fit that mold, as well as the potential clients on the other side of the table. Well, computer or phone in this case, right? So that's another challenge too. And I'm brand new back into this market. It's like, my first year in commercial has like a huge asterisk next to it because I didn't get this true experience, right? And I'm like trying to make it work. So, I'm shut down. I'm figuring it out. I'm databasing. I'm like, okay, what do? I database. When in doubt, make a database. Call people. Do that. That's what I'm doing. Clubhouse comes along. I joined in November. I had a friend reach out to me and she's like, hey, do you want to get on this app? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Sure, send it over. I'm thinking nothing of it. Literally nothing. I'm like, whatever. This is back, I think there were maybe 20 or 30,000 people on the app in November-ish, right? So I get on here and I'm searching for real estate people. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to be on social media, might as well learn something. And so, mind you, the only professional social media marketing I had even done or interacted with people on is LinkedIn for professional reasons. Everything else on Instagram is private.
I'm going to say that was so true, because I remember trying to look for you on Facebook. I couldn't find you on Facebook. I looked for you. I found you on Instagram, but it was like, I was expecting this huge account. And it was like you, like with pictures of your family and like maybe your dog. I was like, awesome. Yeah. And for my listeners right now, we are taking you into the genesis of how Kelani has built an amazing network of people. So Kelani, take it away.
Yeah, so it was, it was private. I do have a Facebook, but I don't even use it even till this day. I'm like, Facebook, what? My mom uses Facebook. I'm like, just let me know what the fam says. You know, I'm not even on there. I should be. I got to get better. But nonetheless, I'm on Clubhouse and I'm listening. I'm finding people. I'm searching for real estate people. I'm listening into some conversations. I'm like, oh, all right, this is cool. Let me see if I can connect with some people, follow some people. And I was in the app for a couple of weeks. I never even said anything, right? And mind you, I've been in the business for some years now, right? Not commercial, but in real estate. There's a lot of transferable skills, right? Transacting is transacting. Closing is closing. If I got to sell, I got to sell, right? So I, at this point, have not contributed to any conversations, but I was in a room and it was about wholesaling. And in my operation in Vegas, we had a whole acquisitions department, right? Because we flipped and wholesaled. So I was able to teach this. And so a young lady gets up on stage, she asks a question and she gets some okay responses because it's a panel full of men. And I'm like, this is some subpar shit. This is not the best advice for her. And that was the first time I raised my hand. I asked if I could contribute to the conversation, poured into the young lady. And I remember exactly who she is till this day. Because she was the first person, I think, to really kind of follow me or, you know, whatever, based on something I had said. Ever since that day, I poured into her, gave her some great advice. All of the men on the stage had invited me to conversations, right? We're hosting this room on Clubhouse. Can you be a part of this? Can you be a part of this? I'm like, sure. And you know me, Peely, I'm very speak when spoken to in public places like that, right? I don't feel the need to over interject, right? And over explain. It's not my vibe. It's not my MO.
If you have something important to say, you're gonna say it, or you're just gonna listen. That's Kelani.
Well, and it turned into, you know, me holding a lot of these men accountable because I'm like, you guys don't have any women on stage. You don't have any women on here. Or why are you, let the woman give the woman some advice, right? Stop explaining that to her. And I was speaking up for women. And then I remember there was a conversation where someone was asking about motherhood and whatever. And the moderator, who was a man at the time, asked for responses from men. And I said, hold on. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to need you to stop right there, buddy. That's not going to educate anyone because that's all opinion, right? Like that's really not going to do much. So I was interjecting left and right, and I just kind of became this voice for women. And so that's when I had met Brittany Rose on Clubhouse. And so she was master moderator, right? And killing it. And she's like, Kelani, you have to start a club on Clubhouse. And I said, girl, you're tripping. I don't do social media. Do I need to stop there? You want me to keep going?
No. We are going to keep going because I want you to tell us, okay, let's go. This is why I love your story, because right there, you don't do social media. This is proof in the pudding that if you go in and you just network and you show yourself as a real person, that's all you do, Kelani, is show yourself as a real person. Things like what you have built, as in the women in real estate, show up in your life. Goodness like that will show up. So let's talk about that. Yes, we have a few more minutes, but I want you to pour into these next few minutes by letting my audience know what you have built and where you are taking it.
Yeah. So I'll condense this. I'll keep it short. But Brittany convinced me to make this club. This is back when you had to apply for the club on Clubhouse. Now it's kind of like anyone can make one. The club got approved I think it's like the end of January-ish, and it's called Women in Real Estate. And here we are, August 4th. I personally have 26 something thousand followers on Clubhouse. My club that Brittany and I run together has over 54,000 followers. And it has turned into a whole movement. I had to make my Instagram public. I couldn't keep up with the requests to follow. I couldn't keep up with the DMs and the messages. Just like, you know, the thank yous for being a voice, right? Or creating safe spaces for women to connect and then tell their own stories, right? We're nurturers by nature. We take care of everybody else. And we are navigating an industry that was not set up for us to succeed in naturally. And so we're able to bond over certain things and let each other know, like, hey, you're not crazy. I experienced this too. Here's how we handle this. And really, the only way we're going to make a change in the industry is if we band together. So I guess what's the future of women in real estate? It's turned into a movement. Okay, like there's this social media presence that we have, right? And it has, now that the world sort of opened back up, I don't know what's about to happen next, but the world sort of opened back up. We've been asked to attend events in person. Now we're speaking, we're going to conferences, we are creating spaces. We have a pop-up tour where we are creating spaces for women to network, and we've gone to a few different cities at this point, and it's everywhere that we're being requested to go. And what's amazing is now that we have this network that we can tap into, we're going to Chicago this weekend, and we look through the network, we look through the Rolodex, who's in Chicago, who wants to be a part of this? And the response is overwhelmingly positive. And let me tell you, spaces curated by women, they just hit different. The energy is different. The vibe is different. And we're all, you know, we keep it relaxed. We keep it authentic. You know how I feel about authenticity. And real relationships are being formed. Real advice and support is being given. Real resources are being shared. And I believe real deals are going to be done from the relationships that we're able to nurture and create. And then the last thing I'll say, because I said I was going to keep it quick, is, you know, what does the future of women in real estate look like? Well, we're probably likely going to launch a podcast. We are, we have created a mastermind group to further support folks, right? Which has been incredible, the value that we've gotten from that.
Take a moment to talk about that mastermind group if you have that time. Like, actually, I'm gonna go back a little bit. So you have created this safe space for women to communicate. So for anyone that is on Clubhouse and knows how some of the rooms operate, it's not always a safe space. It's not always a place where you can explore your thoughts, where women can speak their minds without being spoken over. You have created this space where women feel comfortable in being women in business and showing up as nothing else but ourselves. Talk a little bit about your real estate mastermind. Where is that going, and can women join you right now?
100%. It's evolving and growing. I think when we first started, and Peely, that's when, you know, you always encouraged me to talk about it. I'm like, again, I'm not an influencer. I'm not a social media person. I'm not a salesperson in this way, right? Because you know how I feel about about real estate gurus that oversell, you know, false realities and things like that. That's not something that I believe in. And so go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that is why people are so attracted to you, because you don't sell the false reality. You don't tell people they're going to make $1 billion in real estate. In fact, I know you've actually told people it's hard work. It's a grind. It's an everyday grind that you love, but it is work to get to where you want to be. So talk to us about the platform, the foundation that Real Estate Mastermind can provide for people.
That's exactly what it is a foundation. So I'm really big on saying this is not a real estate course. I'm not here to teach you real estate content. There are a ton of courses available. Go take one. I can refer you to one. I'm probably an affiliate of some sort. I got you. But that's not what we're about. We are creating a system of support and accountability. So how are you implementing the technical skills that you learn? Because if you're not in a place to execute on what you learned, then you wasted money on these courses and whatever else, right? These seminars and things that you've gone to, if you are not in a mental space to execute. And so, you know, the mastermind is huge. We are big on this foundation, and that is understanding your why. What is your purpose? What are your core values? What are your goals? And is it all in alignment? And if it's not, let's, one, get in alignment, and two, use the set of principles that we've created to be the buffer to make decisions, right? Because as we know as entrepreneurs, right, we have to have an uncanny ability to discern what is for us and what is for our business and what is not. And all that glitters is not gold. All money ain't good money. All opportunities are not the right ones. And sometimes we get eager, especially as women who are providing, you know, and doing everything else, right? It's so important that we're solid, because if we're not solid, then if we're not rooted, a little bit of wind, a little breeze hits us, and there we go, right? We have to stay rooted so that we set ourselves up for success as best as we can, navigating an environment that's not particularly set up for us to succeed in. So the mastermind, a question I get all the time is like, oh, is this for agents? Is this for brokers? It's for everybody. It's for investors. If you're a wholesaler, if you're working in the nonprofit space, if you are an agent or a broker, if you're into land, whatever you're looking to do, again, it's all very synergistic. And this is not real estate content. This is, let's get our minds right and get prepared to go change the world and make the impact that we want to make.
And it's also for all levels. I mean, myself, Beth Azor, there's so many real estate professionals that are being drawn to the light and the love and the foundation that Kelani and Brittany Rose are both providing. So Kelani, thank you so much for that. And before I let you go, I would also like you to talk a little bit about Clubhouse Live.
Yeah. So one of the things, you know, I want to squeeze something in, if that's okay.
No, please do.
You know, my life is interesting now because I have to balance, right? I've got this women in real estate brand and business that Brittany and I have created. I also have work and normal real estate stuff, right, that I got to do. I think the future of brokerage is changing. I believe that not just because I have this platform now and I have this following and I'm able to tap in, right? I'm in with the community. Mm-hmm. Not only because I have that, but also because we're in a pandemic and people have to connect this way now. And the future of this business looks a lot different. And so I'm really grateful that now I have this platform of women in real estate to lean on, because it also is helping me, right? Not only have we created this environment, it's helpful for me to help me understand what my purpose is, you know, what my why is. And I'm able to leverage this wonderful movement to make space and headway in the commercial environment. Because when I come back and I'm like, hey guys, this is what the people want. This is what the people need. This is how we actually make real change, not just, you know, throw money at organizations, say we support women and minorities. What are we doing to activate real change? And so I'm so grateful that the two are actually really synergistic. So CBRE has actually become a corporate sponsor for Women in Real Estate, and they are one of the sponsors for Clubhouse Live 2.0, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, August 12th through 14th. And all of your favorite Clubhouse influencers, all of the OGs, I would say, that were on the platform back in November, December when we got started, we're all going to be there. So we're talking about, you know, brokerage, development, wholesaling, all different facets of real estate and service lines, as well as spending time and taking time to connect with each other and network. Real deals were done from the last event. Real deals were done. Real relationships were created. It's not your velvet rope experience. I'm not hiding out in the green room. I'm sitting out there with everybody and we're really, really connecting. I don't know what influencers typically do, but again, that's not me. I'm there to support, cultivate relationships, and make space for women and make sure that our voices are heard and respected in that space.
Kelani, thank you so very much for coming on. And for all my listeners, please tap in to the Women in Real Estate, to the Real Estate Mastermind, and to Clubhouse Live. If you are not going to be, if you haven't heard about that, I will drop the link into the show notes. Please tap in. This is going to be an amazing event of people who want to help you, who want to connect with you. Helped me personally. I mean, I actually, a little bit about my Clubhouse journey. I had COVID when I jumped on. Not very many people know that. I had COVID when I jumped on. I was deathly ill, and I was just like, I just need to connect. I need to know people. And I remember jumping into a room with you, Kelani. I was like, she has a Hawaiian name. I'm going to go into that room. And then someone ended up bringing me up into that room, and we were talking about what? Women in real estate. That was Ronnie who brought me up in that room. He didn't know me. He just kind of knew my name from social media. He brought me up. He's like, me and my friends are talking real estate, and that's how I met you. And you were like, wow, Peely, you said my name correctly. And it turned into an amazing friendship, an amazing sisterhood. So thank you for that. So really, really connect. Before I let you go, I have one more question. For anyone who's looking to connect with you on Clubhouse, what is the best way for them to go about actually to connect with anyone on Clubhouse?
Well, okay, the first place I'm going to direct you is to Kelani10k.com. There you can get links to just about any of my social media platforms or events that are upcoming. I keep that up to date, as well as links to Clubhouse. So I think let's start there. Yes. But this kind of community that we've created, it's not hard to find all of us when you found one of us. So I don't know. Is that good?
No, that is perfect. So many people ask me, how do you get involved with Clubhouse? Just get in there.
Get in there. It's open now, right? Android users are available. You don't even need an invite to get on. I could send you an invite. Wouldn't do you any good because you can just log on naturally. And if you search the club, Women in Real Estate on Clubhouse, you can see the club. You can follow the club. And I got to give you your flowers too, Keely. First of all, thank you for having me, highlighting me and the work that I'm doing. Peely is one of the few people that we trust to actually host and facilitate rooms in the Women in Real Estate Club. We take it very, very seriously. It's a full responsibility. It's a job, okay? I got 2 jobs, okay? This shit is not easy, okay? Managing a brand when you feel so responsible for the content and the people you put in front of your audience, it's a lot of pressure. And Peely is one of the people that we trust to put in front of our audience. So I thank you for the good work that you're doing. And the mentality, right? It's a mentality to support other women is a mentality. Society doesn't teach us to do that. We're not brought up
to support each other.
Stuff like this. Yes, It doesn't exist. It hasn't existed. And the concept of collaboration over competition is so real. And I got that energy from you from day one. So thank you for the work that you're doing. And we are so happy to have you a part of our WIRE movement.
I'm not crying, you're crying. But this is
That's
the
right
kind
now. It's happened. It's happened. You know, we've had some conversations. We've had talks on Clubhouse where everybody is just like in tears. And I'm like, This is the stuff that we don't get. These men will never understand. This is why it's important that we have our own spaces.
And this is what this space has created for so many women and men and supporters. It is an open club. It's not just for women, it's for women and their supporters, as I like to say. And thank you so much, Kelani. That means so much to me. And I fully believe in collaboration over competition. It's natural for women to collaborate. It's natural. Unfortunately, the society that we have today doesn't promote that. And we're going to change that one woman at a time if need be.
Listen, I'm down for the cause. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to do my part. So for anyone that is listening, if you guys want to be a part of this movement, it costs you nothing to join Clubhouse or follow us on Instagram or whatever. Just tap in. And if you're looking to take things to the next level, we are accepting enrollees in the Mastermind for now. We have to stop every so often to make sure that we can scale accordingly, but we're open right now.
Kelani, you are amazing. Thank you again so much for coming on. And to all my listeners out there, I am so grateful to you for listening. If you loved what you heard, and I know you did, please rate, review, subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And Kelani, my sister, you are amazing. Go forth and do all the amazing work that you do. Thank you so much for being on.
Aloha and talofa.
Aloha.